Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens.
Welcome back to the Festivus Series, ladies and gentlemen, at the Blood and Black Rum podcast. This year, we're celebrating the season with new and old. We might be bringing you some romance, a couple of Santa Claus killers, and a whole lot more. Stay tuned all Christmas season as we dive deep into the holiday hits.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Blood and Black Rum podcast. I'm Ryan from ColdSploitation.com, and I'm joined with my co-host Martin.
How's it going? Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, I should say my festive, mischievous elf, my co-host. Yeah, we're into our Festivus season here. Or actually, we could even just say like my I want to introduce my poll, my Festivus poll. Chris Martin.
I always wanted to bring one to work. And
you've always wanted to whip the pole out at work.
Yeah, the Festivus pole, and so we could have our feats of strength and
grievances.
The airing of. I know, you know me. There's a lot of airing of grievances.
I do always think that's one of the funniest parts of that episode is when, George's dad just goes, I got
We start with the airing of grievances.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's fun to look back and it's yes, rest in peace, Jerry. But it's very fun to watch old Seinfeld and be like, man, Larry David really was the genius behind it all.
Yeah, I know. It's always fun to watch and be like, if only Jerry Seinfeld wasn't such an asshole.
You know, maybe that you could tell the ones like that Jerry had like an overwhelming hand in like the Puerto Rican Day Parade. Like everyone's like, you probably shouldn't do that. It's like, what? It's obnoxious. It's annoying. It's like the fucking gays. You know, what about it? And
yeah, it wasn't so far off that he kept dating increasingly younger women. That too. Mm-hmm. Those are all actual Jerry Seinfeld inclusions there.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, we're not here to talk about the Festivus episode of Seinfeld, although that would be fun at some point to do. It's like
Christmas,
a mini-sode.
Nice Christmas specials.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun to do, like some of the best Christmas specials. You don't do a whole lot of TV or anything. We've done a few episodes in the past, but mostly we've done movies. And also, another one that I would want to do is because we've done the Tales from the Crypt movie. But we haven't done the Tales from the Crypt episode in All Through the House, which is, I think, arguably better than the Tales from the Crypt movie.
Is there a Goosebumps Christmas-like episode or no?
I don't think so. I don't think they did ever do a Christmas one that I can recall.
Sad.
Yeah. But yeah, that would be fun. It would be a fun time to try to do some special Christmas episodes. But no, we're not here to do that. We're here to talk about a different movie that I've been wanting to see for a while. And last year, I bought the 4K UHD from Vinegar Syndrome because it was I think it went on sale. Again, this is like the second year in a row where I bought a Christmas movie on sale, and it did not come in time for me to watch it for Christmas. It came like after Christmas. So I had to wait for a whole other year to even have it be relevant again. So that's what happened with this movie. And I've been wanting to watch it for a while, and I never had a chance to. And thought it was the perfect time to do so, especially for the podcast, and have it be a nice little episode. Because I know you've never seen it. I knew that, it's not really... It has gained, I'll say, it has gained in popularity since... Joe Bob Briggs did it on the last drive-in Christmas special a couple of years ago. I think he did an episode with this movie, but it has been kind of living in relative obscurity for quite a while, and it does occasionally get on like the you may not know this Christmas movie list, but it's not really super popular for most people, so it's not a household name by any means. I will also say, as we are throwing out hints, that not very, it's like very close together, another movie by the same name, or at least by the name that this movie was given for its American release. Was released, and I guess it actually wasn't that close together. It was in 1982 when the other movie released, so like 7 years difference. But there's another movie known by the same name. So and I've seen both of them now. I happen to have seen both of them. The other movie is actually quite good as well, and we'll probably do that one at some point because it's like a slasher movie. Kind of a lesser known slasher movie with including games, like a board game. So it's kind of a fun movie. But
it's Crossfire come to life.
Yeah. Like a board game, not a Crossfire, although that would be fun, right?
Crossfire.
You're in the crossfire.
Crossfire. Which is fun. I got that like for like my fifth or sixth birthday, and not birthday, Christmas.
Christmas, yeah.
I didn't have anybody to play it with. I just shot.
No, that is a problem. It's a two-person game.
You know,
just
sat there and shot the little BBs into the thing. I didn't know what the hell was going on, and just be like, "Yeah, Crossfire!"
Yeah. But no, the movie we're talking about today is 1989's. The actual French title is 3615 Code Père Noël. But the American title ended up getting translated to or changed to Deadly Games. And then it had, a secondary title of Dial Code Santa Claus, which is kind of close to the original.
Dial M for murder.
Yeah. And we'll get into, as we go into the movie itself, we'll get into the name itself, the title, and the 80s technology that's associated with it, specifically the French technology that's associated with this movie that is very obscure for the layman, especially watching it now. When you watch something like Home Alone 2 and you see the Talkman that he has, that's outdated technology, but this is going even a little bit further.
Well, that was built specifically for the movie, though.
Yeah,
the Talk Boy. This was an actual
this was
thing.
This was a thing, and it's very much like something that even I didn't really recognize that this was a thing until I really went and did some research on it. And I was like, what the fuck is this thing that they're using? So we'll go into that as we get into the movie itself. But yes, we're talking Dial Code Santa Claus, otherwise known as Deadly Games. And the other movie that I was talking about was Deadly Games from 1982, which is another slasher film.
The French title's a billion times better.
3615 Code Père Noël. I think it has like a very, it ties into the Rambo-esque action-y feelings that the cover artwork and the kid gives off in this movie. So I think it works really well.
Because that's not Santa Claus.
Père Noël? No, it's Father Christmas.
Yeah, that's Père Noël. That's a shitty version. Okay.
The one that has like the hood and stuff. That's like the special version.
Skinny, Hopo Gijo with his basket and all that. No.
Some offensive people might call it the inferior version of Santa Claus.
It's true.
Not me. I wouldn't say that. I
would. I'm a Santa Claus supremacist.
You're a snob. You're the. If it's not the classic Coca-Cola Santa Claus, it's not your Santa.
Exactly, because Coca-Cola invented Santa Claus. It didn't exist until those smart folks at Coke were like, "Hey."
You didn't see Father Christmas tromping around in Victorian Christmas Carol, do you?
Nope. And because the Kinks also invented Father Christmas.
There you go. Yeah, right.
If that song alone spawned Père Noël himself, just came. Poof.
You're right, though. The French title is actually and again too, especially with the truncated version that was released in America, which was just Deadly Games, which is not a good title at all for it. If you were gonna do anything, you should just have roughly translated, because I feel like too they did not want to do 3615 specifically because it didn't tie in, it would mean nothing to the American audience. So that makes sense. And so they changed it to, in some cases, Dial Code Santa Claus, which is in itself a pretty cool name too. But to just call it Deadly Games and try to drop it like that, especially being a Christmas movie and everything, no.
Well, the other titles like Game Over, Hide and Freak, like, you're totally missing out on like the Christmas cachet that it carries.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, like you said, like, I get it with like the 3615, like, no one's gonna get that, but naming it this obtuse Deadly Game style Code Santa Claus, it's like, that's fucking stupid. No wonder why nobody went and saw the film. They're probably like, what the fuck is this?
Yep.
Yeah. I got to read a paragraph before going to even see the movie.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't understand, and I just didn't have the energy to read it.
Honey, you know what we'll do instead? We'll go see Die Hard, because you know what? It just says Die Hard, and the poster's just a building, Nakatomi Plaza blowing up with Bruce Willis, grimacing on it.
I agree. Mixed messaging there from something called Deadly Games. And, again, on the other hand, you've got maybe somebody who is not really recognizing that this is a Christmas movie or, sort of stylized horror movie at all. And they're going, oh, Deadly Games. What is that? It sounds like a nice murder mystery or something. And they're disappointed too. So, yeah.
Especially because the film's tonal shift is like so...
Yeah.
drastic. Like,
sure.
You could like bring the family in for the first half of the film and be like, wow, isn't this a wonderful little story? It's kind of weird nothing's happening, this is a wonderful little film.
It does remind me of some of the films that were released in the 80s for kids that were kind of questionable, that I think Severin Films got into a little bit when they were releasing Blu-rays. Like they released a few that were like kind of questionable as to like, these are kids movies? Like, they don't really feel like kids movies, but in like in some ways they do. And then like you said, the drastic tonal shifts in them are kind of like, doesn't necessarily seem appropriate. That's kind of, I get the same feeling from Deadly Games, as we'll talk about too, the tonal shifts in it and the way that it kind of starts out, like you said, like a nice little children's movie of a kid who's like, oh, his mom's working on Christmas Eve, and he likes to imagine things.
And by the way, before we get into the beer talk and discuss the film fully, I had no idea this was a French film until I popped it on. I went into the settings for the Blu-ray, and it was like, all right, there's no subtitles. That's sweet. Hit play, and then I guess the credits are rolling. I'm like, it's in French. And it just keeps going. I'm like, and then like the subtitles are popping up. I'm like, oh. It's a French movie.
Yeah.
I didn't know this is what Ryan was talking about when he said he wanted to do French New Wave.
That's right. Yeah. This is the first in the line of French New Wave releases we're going to be covering on.
It's right up there with anything Godard ever put out.
That's right. Yeah. So again, I think neither of us had seen it beforehand. So it's a good, good intro for both of us to come into the podcast with it. So. All right, let's take a break, though, before we get into the actual talk about the film. And let's discuss the beer that we have on the show today. We got a little lazy today, not only because just didn't have a chance to go out, but also because we got slammed with like 8 inches of snow today. So we knew in advance that we probably were not going to have time today to go out and get any beer. So we kind of planned it earlier than that. And I happened to pick up the Sam Adams Winter Seasonal Pack, which is not something that I do kind of tend to get that every year, mostly because I'm an old Fezziwig fan.
The one.
I have been for many, many years now, ever since I got it, like
20 years ago?
Yeah, like 20 years ago, and saw that it had the nice Victorian can and the Christmas Carol reference, and I'm like, I want to try that beer. And lo and behold, I enjoyed it as a winter warmer style, and I've been getting it ever since. And I think actually one year, I don't think this year though, they started releasing Old Fezziwig in like their own pack, like a 12-pack of Old Fezziwig, which is kind of an interesting idea. It's not necessarily everybody's beer of choice because it is sort of like that winter warmer old ale style of like fig and...
Well, they know that you'll be, it's fine to sell a 12-pack because you'll be able to sell it for 7 years.
There you go. Yeah. Have it every Christmas for the next 12 years.
A vintage one. This one's 2012.
But this year, the Sam's seasonal pack intrigued me because it did have 2 new beers in it.
Just rare these days.
Yeah. And one of them is one that's exclusive to the pack. And then the other one was also released on its own. But it's the first new actual winter seasonal beer that Sam's released in a long time, because they generally have, like I said, the winter lager is their standard winter style beer, and then again they do Old Fezziwig and the seasonal packs every year. But this is a new one that they have never really done before, and I think this was a one that you've had previously because you were interested in it because it kind of reminded you of one of your white whales, the white IPA. So you had to try it before we even got it on the show. But yeah, the beer that we have is the Sam Adams Winter White Ale. Again,
so not only that, because of the white whale, it's originally I've been drinking it throughout the since it's been out, because it's replaced the Oktoberfest and Tallboys, and somebody over at Sam Adams, it's probably not Jim Cook, 'cause I feel like the man's been locked away. That's why it's gone to shit. But somebody was listening to our podcast when we were talking about, craft Tallboys, and we were talking about how nice they are, and we were talking about the Sam's Octo, Tallboy, and how nice that was. You can grab 2 and be fine and dandy and have a good romp, and the same thing with the Summer Ale one. And I said, when we were talking about the Oktoberfest one, I swear to God, if they do something stupid like put the Winter Lager into a Tallboy, I'm going to be pissed off, because the Winter Lager is ass. It's literally the worst Sam seasonal going around, which I don't understand why it's stayed around for forever, and the spring one's the one they're changing every fucking year. But someone was listening, because they created a winter beer that is perfect for a Tallboy, and that would be this Winter White Ale.
Yeah. I think that it is, to me, it is basically like a cross between like a citrus wheat style and their winter lager, because it definitely has notes of the winter lager in it. It has the cinnamon and nutmeg sort of warmer style that a winter warmer is known for, but then it incorporates that citrus peel, orange peel flavor to it to give it a nice burst of fruity flavor. And I think that works really well for this beer. I think it's really drinkable. Like you said, it is probably one of a perfect beer to release in those Tallboy cans individually, because it encourages people to get at least 1, maybe 2, because of how drinkable it is. Whereas I feel like that is not the case for something like the Winter Lager. You're probably not going to want to grab 2 of those and really go to town on the Winter Lager. It's heartier. It's much more nuanced in its flavor. And it's also either something like a winter warmer, or something you either like or you don't like. It's not, I don't really think there's a middle ground where you're just like, oh, take it or leave it. Like it's kind of a prominent flavoring. And
the winter, saying the Winter Lager,
some people don't.
I was saying the Winter Lager because it's it is it is a Bock too. It's definitely more bready, hearty. Like it's like a night, like it's got a very heavy, breadiness to it, like a pumpernickel that makes it very big to drink. So that's why I really enjoy this. I think this is a terrific new Sam seasonal. It hits all the right marks because it's an ale. It's light. The body's nice and light and easy. You get that cinnamon. You get that nutmeg. I love the orange peel. I love the clove. We're big, Belgian style beer fans here. So it hits all the right notes. Warms you up too with that nice spice. This is great. This is like something that you, like I said, you're going over to your, relatives for like a Christmas party. Bring a couple of these over so you can get through the day.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. I like it a lot too. I think it's really good. I would definitely pick it up in the tall boy cans. I think it's pretty readily available right now, but it probably won't last long because, like you said, Sam's has been doing this thing where they have like their mid-winter spring seasonal, and then they have their spring seasonal, and then so this is probably not going to stick around much longer after Christmas. I'm sure they'll be moving in their like
cold snap or whatever.
Yeah, the midwinter seasonal that they have very soon after this. I don't know if they plan on trying to keep this around into that too. Probably would kind of be a good idea to keep it around, but who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? But yeah, try to find it because I would say that it is a worthwhile endeavor.
Does this beer in the cold brew coffee stout make the 12-pack worthwhile getting?
You know what? I haven't even had the cold brew coffee stout yet. Haven't tried it. So I've had the winter lager and I've had the white winter ale and in an old fez, but I have not had that cold brew one because it was the last can in the pack, so I didn't even get back that far.
See, lazy, because that would have been like the first one that I
yeah
would have cracked into.
Yeah, we'll have to see. You know, that's another thing that a lot of these breweries are doing now is kind of lazily throwing in a coffee-inspired beer.
See how cold brew stouty it is, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I say that kind of lightheartedly, but at the same time, it is like a creative lull that everybody's having where they're just like, what's going to be our last beer flavor for this winter seasonal? I don't know, coffee? People like coffee in the winter, right? Coffee. And because, you know, Harpoon's been doing their Dunkin' thing and, you know, all that stuff. So I do feel like it's kind of gotten to be a little lazy point to just include another coffee stout style. Yeah. You know, at this point, it's kind of, and we need something else. They need to come up with a new cold IPA or something.
I mean, I do like coffee stouts, but at the same time, though, no, you're right. It's like, what do stouts taste like? Dark chocolate and coffee. Let's make a coffee stout.
Make it coffeeier.
Make a cold brew coffee stout. How do you know it's cold brew?
I said it is. Yes.
Martin.
Yep.
You know, it's just
and I feel like every year there's like a different style. Like you said, you know, sometimes it's coffee, or they'll say, "Oh, this time it's a coffee porter." Okay.
Or vanilla.
Or they might call it, "Hey, we're doing a latte, latte stout." It's like the same fucking thing.
You know what? Hold on, you're onto something. Like a latte nitro stout.
Yep.
Guinness. Hop on that.
There you go. Helping him out.
You're
All right,
welcome.
let's talk deadly games. Dial Code Santa Claus. So I guess we should start out by talking about the idea behind the 3615 code pairing well. That idea there. In France in the 80s, there was a thing called the Teletel, or, you know, I think what it was originally released as was the MINITEL. It was basically like a small television with a keyboard attached to it, and it connected to like almost like a chat forum, almost like a like an AOL type chat forum that they used to have back in the day. And connected throughout France with this chat function. And so I'm probably, it's somebody from the 80s that lived in France. Probably, that's absolutely not what it was, with a French accent and twirling a mustache. They're taking offense to my very abbreviated research of the
Listen, we're American. You should be thankful we're even doing a French film, okay?
That's right. Or even trying to address the fact that, because to be honest with you, the MINITEL element to Dial Code Santa Claus is actually, if it's kind of blink and you miss it, really, because there's only one small thing that happens where it actually causes the events to unfold. So while it is a point of the film, if you missed it, you really aren't missing out on much, but it's still worthwhile to try to explain the idea behind it. So basically, that's what it was. It was a messaging system used in France as kind of the equivalent to before the internet really took off, and it was a communication service, which is actually, when you really stop and research it before the internet, it's pretty cool. That it was a specific type of device that was used. It was in like city squares, as you see in this movie. Somebody might just be it was almost like a payphone. You just stop off at the MINITEL. Hold on, I gotta send off a message to my secretary here on the MINITEL. Let me just stop in and
listen, I know what they're doing. They're just like messaging constantly to people. Are you picking your feet in Poughkeepsie?
I was thinking more that it was the starting point of like, got any feet pics? If you have any feet pics, please drop them off at the corner of 15th and 9th, and I'll stop over behind the trash can and grab them.
Not only that, though, like if they print them out, it's like if you're like in 1998, if you're on like a website for like, here's like your guide to how to beat, Super Mario 64, and they make Mario with like pluses and minuses and asterisks, like, in the little file, and that's how your feet pic would look like. Like,
yeah. I think that the idea behind it is really cool, because we're minimizing it a little bit, because it wasn't just for messaging. It was kind of like a web-based thing that you could like buy train tickets and stuff on. It's really cool. But one thing that I did find that it makes it like almost unpalatable is that they had AZERTY keyboards instead of QWERTY, like, our normal keyboards. Like, what? AZERTY's unusable. Okay. Like, can't even imagine using it now. So
what's a space? Looking at the keyword, and it's like space.
A space. Yeah. But it's pretty cool. And anyway, so that's ultimately the idea, which does make sense that this probably would not have been a super popular movie to try to explain to American audiences, because just thinking about it, like, it was definitely not a thing that came to America, at least in the form that it was in like France and Belgium and some of those other areas. It was, obviously the 3165 thing that it was using is not something that was recognizable to American audiences at all. And so instead of, trying to lay out the idea, I don't think they really even bothered. Like I said, the movie kind of glosses over it, and it kind of, obviously for most French viewers, didn't need to explain it. So it just glosses over it as something that happens in the movie. And I think you can kind of, as an American viewer, take it at face value too, because the film itself utilizes a lot of like outlandish technology used by the child in the movie, where you're just kind of like, okay, whatever. I don't know what that was, but I'll believe it because it's like in the reality of the film. So I don't think it really matters that you know about the MINITEL. I just thought it was a kind of a cool idea that the film utilizes, and not something that you see very often for a movie such as this.
It's even more novel than just a regular payphone.
Exactly.
Now we need the Maroon 5 song. I'm at a MINITEL somewhere in France, trying to get a hold of you.
And, too, it's a precursor to like this whole Roblox issue of like, who are your kids talking to on the other end of that MINITEL?
I still don't even know what the fuck Roblox is.
It's just an online game of.
I know it's a game, but I don't. But I don't even. I have no idea like anything about it, and
you don't need to know. All right, are you a pervert or are you an 8-year-old? Then you don't need to know about it.
What if you're both? What if you're?
Well, then you're in the right place. Okay. Roblox is the place for you.
You get to double up.
Yeah. But I think, though, the film kind of brings up this interesting idea of, like, who is your kid talking to on the other end of that MINITEL? Because, and while I think Deadly Games is intentionally abstract in the way that everything gets played out and the development of the characters and everything, I think it offers up some interesting ideas, that address what would be to come from the internet of like, anonymous strangers talking to each other across the world, and you don't really know anything about them, and you're sharing your information, and how easily trackable people would become.
It's taking Black Christmas to the next level.
That's right.
Yeah.
So the idea behind this, though, is that, as I said, the child that's in this movie, accidentally, he thinks he's speaking to Santa Claus, right? He's on the MINITEL, and he's like, I'm gonna write to Santa Claus and tell him what I want for Christmas. And instead, he contacts a guy that's just in like this French square, this area, who's like, sure, I'll come over to your house, and we don't really know anything about this guy. All we know is he has sort of like a child-esque demeanor about him and likes to play with children. He gets into like this magical snowball fight at the beginning of the movie and with a bunch of kids, and it's like
first of all, how dare you? This person, that's Zach Galifianakis.
Patrick Florsheim, but is credited simply as Le Père Noël.
He does look like Zach Galifianakis.
It was like Zach Galifianakis. I could also see like
Father John Misty.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
No, I don't think the guy Cocaine Man.
Yes, he is a particular hirsute man, especially in this movie. Everything that you see, I don't generally tend to think of my Santa Clauses or Father Noels as with the chest hair just poking out of the Santa suit, but
the eyebrow hair being so.
Yes, I do like
Eugene being so Eugene Levy, like.
Yes, very Eugene Levy. Yes. I did think it was pretty hilarious, though, when he's got, like, the fake snow, and he's like, you know what's perfect? I will just color my hair like Santa Claus. And he starts spraying the white snow on his hair. And then when it pans back to him afterwards, he's gone full, like, all out, and now his eyebrows and mustache and everything is all white, too. I thought that was pretty funny, like, the way that it started off kind of innocuous, and he's just kind of spraying his hair and his beard, and then all of a sudden the frosted eyebrows and everything.
It reminded me of like a Kablam, like Prometheus and Bob sketch, because he's like going like, because he's like so like giggling and like happy with himself, like, oh, I can spray this on me, and no one will know.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think too that the film, like I said, the film is very much on purpose kind of leaving out any character element of this Father Christmas figure. And, at the beginning of the film, obviously, he's just a dude who, for whatever reason, has a very particular attraction to children. And it's not really clear throughout the movie, what kind of attraction it is. Is he just a pedophile? Is he sort of mentally handicapped, and he's sort of got like just a childlike demeanor to him? It's not clear. And while I do think that Patrick Florsheim and the direction kind of sometimes makes it seem like he is sort of mentally challenged sometimes, like you said, where he's just kind of standing around like, I don't know. The film is, obviously on purpose, it refrains from like making any statement about him as a villain. So.
Like Grandpa's vision, it's opaque.
Yes, I do like when they show Grandpa's vision throughout too, and it's just like, shot through 7 fisheye lenses or something.
Well, that's what my vision.
That's what yours is without glasses. This man doesn't even wear glasses. He's like, I can see okay.
Oh, how dare you? That is Grandpa Joe. After going to the chocolate factory, he got fucking diabetes, so...
Yeah. He's Grandpa from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
First and foremost, we have to talk about the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Who thought Tommy's hair was okay?
Oh my God, he has a
that
amazing mullet.
That mullet is levels of bad. Like, and I've grown to love the mullet now. Like, as I'm older and, like, Gen Z's bringing it back as they're stealing our mustaches. But, I mean, this one is just so... His bangs are, who got this? Does Grandpa cut his hair? Because his, bangs and, everything is so fucked and he just looks absolutely terrible. Like, he looks like he could be... like Greg the Hammer Valentine's fucking tag team partner,
What I
just
love
awful.
about the hair is that it can be transformational because when he wears it down, he looks very different than when he does that Rambo-esque tied back sort of, with the headband. It's amazing how much he can transform that hair from, a basic mullet to the sort of Rambo style that he goes for later on in the movie. I love it. I think it's great. It's a impressive mullet for sure. In the aggressive way that it is so outlandish, and I think it's inspiring. I think it's something I'm going to shoot for when I cut my hair next time. So I'm going for that mullet look. I don't think I could pull it. I don't think I could do it, but I'm going to try. I agree, though. It is quite outlandish. But the film, I think what is it trying to say? Is it trying to say Mom's not there to cut his hair? Because the film, obviously part of the idea behind the film is that this kid has the run of the house with his grandfather. His grandfather can't see a fucking thing, probably can't hear much either. And he's there with his grandfather, but ultimately the kid is just running around this manse.
They have staff.
That is true too. They have caretakers as well. But this kid is just running rampant around this absolute mansion. And mansion is not even the word for it because the film couldn't even find a location for the movie. Because all of the outside settings are all models. You can tell. They're model designs of a fucking castle.
The seven different attics, tops with the big circular window. I think one of them has Alan Wake in it.
Yes.
Trapped in there. It's because with the first time you enter it and stuff, I'm like, oh, this is well played, Remedy. Alan Wake's here. Yeah. Sam Lake.
I think the thing that really struck me is they couldn't even find an equivalent house to just shoot the exteriors of. They what they were looking for was so outlandish, so ridiculous that they were just I don't know, build a set. Just
why the hell do they even live in a place like that? Because a couple of things. One, his mother runs a toy store, not a toy conglomerate or anything
No, yeah,
runs
not like a
CEO of Toys R Us, a toy store. Has a board of members when she goes to her meeting of 12 of them for this fucking store, which it makes no sense. It's just totally ridiculous. And then she's like, I want everybody to be ready. I want clowns and vagrants and dancers and everything for the outside. So when people come in, they're buying from us and they know Christmas is tomorrow. And they're all like, why didn't you tell us this before?
It's Christmas Eve. How are we supposed to find a clown for your...
Yeah, and she's like, well, my son thinks he doesn't want to believe in Christmas anymore. And it's just ridiculous. Nobody would be doing that too. Not that unless we don't understand France and we're backwards. Who is shopping that late, until 11:40 in the night?
I was thinking the same
Christmas presents, and it's just so fucking ridiculous. It's so.
I was.
If I was a local clown and they're like, hey, they need you down at the toy store till 11 o'clock at night because they got toys to sell, I'd be like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, because they show that one scene. As Mom goes into work on Christmas Eve, they show the one scene where they're in the store and they're like, all right, it's 10:30, everybody. We got to be closing up. I'm sorry, please bring your last. And there's people milling around all over the place. I haven't bought my underwear yet. What am I going to do? My son hasn't got his underwear. Probably should have been shopping, Christmas comes the same day every year. You know?
I was gonna say there should have been like a montage, and you just hear, "So this is Christmas."
Yeah, I agree, though. I think it is a little bit outlandish to expect that people are milling around at 11 o'clock on Christmas Eve, like not with their family at home, already having shopped for all of their...
Especially in the 80s.
Yeah.
And like stuff. Like, I don't like, I just find that to be like...
And then not only
ridiculous.
that, but the mom, this is basically a Christmas Carol for the mom. Because the mom is like, you know what? Screw my kid. He doesn't even believe in Santa Claus right now. I don't care. I gotta go into my job. And not only that, but like we're gonna close up, and the guy's like, "Are you sure you want to count this money? Like, we don't need to count this money. Tomorrow's a holiday. Like, we don't need to know."
They made 10 million francs that night.
Yeah,
she wanted to count
she's like,
it.
"I need to know. I need to know for the shareholders how much we brought in tonight." And the guy's like, "What are you doing here? Go home to your child, okay? It's Christmas Eve. Go home to the kid."
What's that? What's that? You hear Michael Caine in the background. "Go on, Mr. Cratchit, take the day off."
Yes, that's what I mean. This is a Christmas Carol for the mom, because when she gets home and she finds out, like, oh my God, my son was attacked by a killer Santa and everything, and she realizes, well, that's what really Christmas is all about, is family and making sure my kid's not attacked by a killer Santa Claus.
But not only that, she also left too to be with the guy that was like, "Go home to your family." Cause she's like, "I'm gonna get some fucking dick tonight, cause this is a Disney movie. Well, it's French, so instead of the mom being dead, it's dad's dead. We just don't know what happened to Dad.
That's right.
Rest in peace, Dad."
I guess when you think about it, it makes sense that they have this like absolutely ridiculous house. But like you said, why would they live in a place like this? It's kind of a disaster of a house. It's like he's got like the boiler room from A Nightmare on Elm Street here, you know, in the basement. There's like a weird like fridge that leads into a workshop. It's a strange place to live, regardless of whether you're like a, you know, odd eccentric rich person or not. I don't know. You know, and the film doesn't, again, this is another thing about the film, is it never really explains any of this stuff. It kind of just, it's like a fever dream where it just presents all of these things happening, doesn't explain it, and you're just kind of forced to go with it. You're just like, you know, this is what's happening. So you're either going to like it or you're not going to like it. I think the fever dream element actually lends itself pretty well to the movie, because I actually think that it almost presents itself in a way where you're kind of questioning, is it even really happening? Like, or is the kid kind of making this up in his head, or having like a Christmas Eve dream of like Rambo Santa Claus? Because the film, you know, at the start, it kind of shows him doing the same thing. He's envisioning like being in a plane and like being shot down and everything. So you're kind of like...
When he's putting the fucking makeup on, all I can think of is the Robot Chicken sketch with Ted Turner becoming Captain Planet. Putting the paint on, like, Captain Planet!
Yeah.
I was just waiting for him when he was fighting Santa, and Santa be like, "Oh, you got glass in my eye, and my foot in your balls, Captain Planet!"
Yeah. One thing that this film often gets compared to Home Alone. For one, because it does have the, you know, some of the trap elements with the child setting traps for, you know, someone who's breaking in. But also, it was released around the same time, a couple of years earlier than Home Alone. But also, I would say that it is pretty closely resembling Christmas Evil as well, which we've done on the show previously. Maybe 2 years back, we did Christmas Evil.
Yeah.
Not also one of those movies that's not really like widely watched for Christmas, but you know, kind of lends itself to the Santa Claus experience of horror movies in a different manner than Silent Night, Deadly Night. But this one reminds me a lot of Christmas Evil because it has sort of like the demented Santa Claus figure who is obsessed with children, and I think this is a cross between Christmas Evil and Home Alone for sure.
Oh, you mean Home Alone's a cross? because this is before.
That is true. Apparently, the writer-director tried to sue the producers of Home Alone as well.
Which is ridiculous. Christopher Columbus would never, ever
I think
do work like that.
I think it's
Catherine O'Hare would never, ever do something like that. I will not have their good names sullied like that.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty big stretch to think that, they saw Dial Code Santa Claus and they're like, we need to take a lot of these ideas. And I would say like,
but even if that's the case, it doesn't fucking matter. Because, Hollywood is films are accessible to begin with. There's look at the Italians. Their whole film market's based on what was big, and then they just pump out 20 different shitty versions of Indiana Jones and 20, Well, that's just cinema, baby.
Yeah. If the filmmakers wanted to go that route, then they really should have been sued by Survivor for the clear Eye of the Tiger ripoff that plays at the beginning of this movie, because it is basically Eye of the Tiger, but just the chords have been changed, a couple octaves down or something like that.
I was gonna say, how Eye of the Tiger goes, dant, 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 dant. This goes, dant, 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 dant.
Yeah,
it's literally the Vanilla Ice thing with Ice Ice Baby. Is that Another One Bites the Dust? No. Their song goes din 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 digga din 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 ding ding digga din din. Ours goes din din ding 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 ding. It's different.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's definitely very, very similar. And I think this movie has a really interesting soundtrack. The inclusion of that song and the Bonnie Tyler Merry Christmas song, weird choices. Definitely weird choice. Not only is it a weird choice to just have that Bonnie Tyler Christmas song, but to have it so inherently connected to this movie, where even the director of this movie, Renee Manzer, went on to direct the Bonnie Tyler Merry Christmas song music video, which is a kind of a weird thing altogether. Right, and again, too, that Bonnie Tyler song did not go on to do well. Have you ever heard it before? I've never heard it before.
Well, because it's like some I don't know who wrote it or whatever, but it's like a drunk wrote it. Like, Christmas Day's coming, Santa's on his way, Jesus in the stairwells, he's gonna be a man today.
It really is. If this movie had existed with AI, somebody would have definitely accused it of like an AI writing that song, because it is very random. Like I was listening to it and I was like, did they just say like Santa Claus is on his way, Jesus is coming as well?
Yeah.
Like, what are they even talking about? I agree. It definitely sounds like a drunk wrote it. Just like was at the bar like, guys. Doesn't this sound like a really great song?
The guy who inspired the guy that inspired Pierre Noel in this film, there was some drunk in a bar, wrote the lyrics to the Bonnie Tyler song. You gotta make this, we're making this movie based on him, so,
It's awesome. I mean, the song is fun enough to have it included in this movie as like a weird... it doesn't even really tonally make much sense, especially considering that it comes at the end of the movie where... it's like really out of place, where these violent things have happened. Santa's already murdered a dog violently, and Grandpa's dying of insulin shock and
diabetes.
And then here comes Bonnie Tyler like, Jesus is coming too, guys. Be a man. Why does he have to cry to be a man? Like, what are you going on about, Bonnie? Like,
see, this is like a Japanese anime. Like, these kids have to go through the ringer to become initiated. Right. Like, you're 10 years old, good. Your dog's dead. Santa's not real. Your mom's a whore. Your grandpa's died of insulin, and you're dumb. The end. You're a man now. It's like...
I think that the film does kind of bring up a nice thing at the end, though. Not nice, but It's it's a darker element to the film at the end, where it kind of ends where he Santa dies, and I should say Father Christmas dies, and it leaves Tommy at the end feeling like it's his fault because he tried to stay up to see Santa, and his mom even said, "You know what? If you try to stay up to see Santa, turns into an ogre. Okay, so." You better not stay up to see Santa. There's not really great parenting there to say Santa Claus would come in as an ogre.
Well, first off, it's because they didn't know what autism was in the 80s. And you're trying to tell me this kid's 10 years old? He looks like he's a toddler. Like he's 7. Him and his friends, they don't look like they're 10. They're all like 4'2", like... pre-Kers. They don't like. I wouldn't look at that kid and be like, "Oh, you're 10 years old."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that kid that comes in on the bike too. This guy's riding a bike through the snow. You ever tried to ride a bike in the snow?
Well, the kid did, and he almost died. And
I know. That's what I was saying. I was like, no wonder. Like, you're riding a bike in the snow, man. That's dumb. Doesn't work for.
The fake snow in this looks horrible.
Yeah, it
does. It very much looks like they do cram it like throughout to make you feel more Christmassy. It's definitely like got the look of like it's on a soundstage, like
Yeah,
like,
it does. It does. I also think it's kind of weird how this movie incorporates, like I said, like this sort of dreamlike fever dream element. I still don't really know what to make of that whole grenade that has whatever it was in there, like marbles or something in it that he sends to Father Christmas's way. And then he winds it back up, sends it back, and he's afraid it's going to blow up on Grandpa, who's in the night
armor.
The armor? What? I don't... First of all, he's probably the safest in the knight's armor, right? Like, if it's true armor, I mean... Probably Grandpa has a good shot of surviving that, but I still like that. The whole sequence is very. I just didn't even understand the whole sequence, and then it kind of jumps after that, and it's like Father Christmas has just caught Tommy, and has him and the toy train, and then all of a sudden Tommy's gone and runs away, and now he's free again. I don't know. I did not understand that sequence of events at all. It felt very much like a dream sequence where there was like a missing scene in between that you're just like, well, that's the reality of my dream. I don't know. I don't understand it, but it was weird. But I mean, I guess what I was trying to get at too with the Home Alone element is that I feel like the traps in Deadly Games are really secondary to everything else. There's only like 2 traps in the. He's only done 2 things. Like, that's not really the main crux of the movie here.
Yeah, no, the last 20 minutes of the film are like dedicated to it. It's not like,
yeah. He's not setting them throughout. And I think the other thing too is the film actually focuses more on technology than it does traps. Like he creates his own security camera thing that he feeds to his wristwatch, and he, has a tracking device that he attaches via like, whatchamacallit, slingshot to Santa with Velcro. So like it's more of the technology element, which I think is kind of cool for this movie. It kind of sets it aside from other movies and trying to incorporate this technology that wouldn't really have been big back in the day to kind of, be one of the main elements of the movie. I think it's interesting. What do you think about this whole, like, so again, a Christmas movie, Christmas horror movie, Santa Claus or Father Christmas being the main antagonist. How do you think this movie fares when you compare it to some of the other, killer Santa Clauses or attacking Santa Clauses that we've done in the past?
I mean, it's better because it's a coherent film and not just some jackass with a camera. It's like, I think for a Christmas, like I said, and I wasn't even really expecting it. I had no notion of what to expect. Like, I didn't even look at like a summary or anything on Wikipedia when I started it. So, like, at first, I was like I said, like, I thought, like, okay, for, like, it's like a kid's film, pretty, pretty tame, And then once, like, the stuff started kicking, like, I don't know where it's gonna go, and started kicking up. So, like, it worked. I do think it's engaging and a good watch in that niche. And the one thing I wanted to ask you, though, I think the film, and this is just me, it seems to be a little too cruel. I don't quite understand having a 10-year-old, like, have his, like, dogs, like watching, like, a dog gets, his dog stabbed right in the throat, his leg sliced open by the killer, the guy chasing him all night, Grandpa almost shoots him, and the ending, he's traumatized and broken, and while we hear Bonnie Tyler, like, he's a man now, Jesus is coming, and his mom's holding him like, oh, my little boy. It's like watching, like, the ending of Zeta Gundam, and we're, like, because I know you've seen it, but, like, probably most people haven't, but, like, at the, like, Zeta Gundam at least works, because, like, the entire show, like, everyone's dying, and it's horrible, and by the end, Camille's so, broken, and he's just, like a vegetable. And so, like, this, like, but it is cruel. It fits with how the show is, though, but, like, here, though, it's like, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, you should just be like, Merry Christmas with a shrug.
Yeah, like,
you guys still feeling merry and happy? And
should go get Chinese instead. Like, it's just like it's a downer because it's again like I just don't understand
yeah,
the cruelty. Like, it's not like a funny games where it's like. The cruelty is the point because like most of the stuff that happened and it's over the top. Here it's not. It's very ingrained and grounded. But I mean, it's not like I don't think like the film's going for like a you better watch out. The perils of of like home invasion. I just like that's the one thing that kind of bothers me about the film is like it's like why does it have to be the child that you're
I could see that a little bit. I mean, I could see that this is definitely like you were saying earlier. This is kind of like a kids movie at times where the beginning is kind of happy-go-lucky and stuff, and you might be lulled into this false sense of security that like it's gonna be kind of a kids movie. Like there might be like a scary Santa, but eventually it's gonna be. The kid's gonna like bonk him over the head with a shovel or something and escape, and everything will be happy ever after. And the film definitely has a very grim sort of ending to it, where I agree to some extent, where you kind of ask at the end of the movie, like, but what was the point of it being so cruel and so overwhelmingly like downer at the end? And I guess the only thing that I can think of really is like it's like sort of an epiphany again of like that. Like I said, the Christmas Carol for the mom of the epiphany of like, wow, I've really been neglecting myself here and, focusing on my job so much. And I really should have been at home. Other than that, though, the traumatization of the kid, like for now forever, this kid is going to be associating Christmas with this horrible experience. And I kind of like it, though. I won't lie. Like I like that grim darkness to the movie.
Is it supposed to be like the correlation because he's like dressed up like Rambo in Vietnam, like, and this is Vietnam, like this is like
true? Yeah, that's a good. Good point.
I was like, that's like the only parallel I can see because
the traumatization and the PTSD that is involved in that sort of. Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I think you should. You should have written an essay for Vinegar Syndrome to have included in the insert for this movie.
Well, thank you. Yes. Yeah. But I mean, that's the only thing I can think of because again, like, 'cause he does like that, like action. But at the same time, I think it's, I don't know. I think it does come across by the end of just a little too mean spirited. Yeah. Not that it's awful, but by the end, like I think a lot of people would probably be like, like imagine like Home Alone, and at the end of Home Alone, it's like well, it's not. Ooh, everything's fine, dandy. Like, Kevin had a broom shoved up his ass, and Harry beat him half to death, and, you know...
And I think
the cops shot them both dead, and like, and the mom, Catherine O'Hara's like, oh, my baby,
I think, too, like, you have a point that it's not just that the kid at the end, he defeats the enemy and everything kind of goes back to normal. At the end, he is traumatized by Christmas, and not only is he traumatized by the events, but he thinks he caused them because of all the things that like have led up to it, like where his mom's like, you should go to bed. You're still awake. I mean, Santa's going to be pissed if he finds out that you're still awake. And, like all of those things kind of lead to him having this really grim ending where he basically says, it was my fault. This is all my fault.
Yeah.
I caused all of this. I even got Santa killed, So, because at the end, too, he's too hesitant to shoot Santa, even though he knows that Santa's been basically trying to murder him the whole
ass.
time.
Yeah, he's like,
He's like, well, but it was my fault. I did this, so of course Santa's going to be angry. I think that is pretty grim and cruel, but at the same time, I enjoyed it. I think it's, I think it's fun enough. And I feel like a lot of people have been enjoying it too. People who have seen this movie over the years, because I feel like they do see it less as like a cruelness, and they see it more as just like an entertaining movie of a kid, fending off a killer Santa.
Well, I'm not saying that the film's not entertaining. I'm just saying the last part is like, it's like I'm one that does like downer endings. Like I don't always like the happy ending and stuff, but like here it just seems, like I said, it just seems a little too cruel. Like I'm not saying it has to be a perfect ending, but like basically it but
yeah, no, I definitely agree with that though. I think it is cruel when you really stop and think about it, and I think it's definitely not something that you want to put on for like a Christmas party and be like, guys, you're gonna want to see this movie. Like everybody's having
show
a
it
good
to
time.
Show it to your kids and be like, listen here, you little shits. If you try to stay up, Santa will come and fucking murder your ass.
Yeah, it's kind of like that same scene in Silent Night, Deadly Night when they go to visit the kid's grandfather, and he's like, Santa's watching. He's watching you, So it's kind of like that idea, but like played out for the entire movie of you've been a bad kid, and here comes Santa. What else? What else did we talk about? Covered a lot.
What the hell was it that was left on the table? For Santa, was that supposed to be like fruitcake, fruit loaf or something?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I would be pissed too as Santa if they were leaving fruitcake out for me. Like that's not
I would too.
That's not an appropriate Santa snack. Santa needs carbs and sugar to run on, and possibly a beer. I used to try to leave Santa a wine cooler too. My parents would be like, "Are you sure you want to leave him a wine cooler? Are you sure you don't want to just leave him like milk for his cookies?" And I'd be like, "No, I want Santa to have a wine cooler. He needs a wine cooler. It's been a stressful night.
Damn it, Dad, he needs a Zima. Stat."
I don't know what my fascination was with getting Santa drunk on wine coolers.
Listen, because I mean those Bartle. I've mentioned it before on the podcast. I miss the smell of those things so bad.
Sure.
I miss wine coolers so much from the 90s because they're pure sugar and the smell, like, if anyone, like, drank, like, 30 of them, I imagine it was, like, a 3%, 4%, beverage. With that, but, like, maybe it's just me and my redneck family talking, but you can smell, like, just, like, on the wind, like, oh, your Aunt So-and-so's been, drinking a lot of those wine coolers at the cookout.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah,
I think that's it, yeah. So, on a scale of 0 to 10, literal Christmas throwing stars, which I thought was pretty interesting how he has those, like, little things that he throws.
Mm-hmm.
What would you give?
His little Naruto shuriken.
Yeah. And then
I will be Hokage one day.
But that also that crutch thing that he assembles together.
I know.
Pretty
again,
amazing
like
too.
the kids got autism, I would have been lying there dead. Like, you know, like if I was 10 years old and Santa's and like slit my calf, I wouldn't be like, what can I do? What can I do to jury rig, you know, to walk around?
He's like that meme video of like when your father has that one weird wooden block that's lying around that he didn't know what to do with, and he keeps it until the perfect time.
Yes.
Like, I've got it. I've got the perfect wooden block for this. Yes, that's...
You've been waiting your whole... Yeah.
Yeah.
Waiting his whole life to be like, I know what to do. Yeah, I know what you're talking of.
I've studied Vietnam war medics. I know how to assemble it.
Listen, you don't know how many times I've seen fucking Platoon, goddammit.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so what would you give Deadly Games Dial Code Santa Claus?
Give it a 6 out of 10. It's a fun enough film. I don't think it's bad at all. It's, you know, enjoyable. Like, I do like the premise. I think it's neat. I think it works. It's not too, like, overly Christmassy. Like, for a Christmas film, it's pretty muted with the shitty snow and no decorations, really, or anything. But, for, like, a home invasion film, it's pretty good. And it's, brisk enough and well paced enough to be entertaining. Like I said, enjoyment you're gonna have is gonna vary on how much you like seeing a 10-year-old suffer. You know, so the ending and some of the tone throughout when the invasion's going on is, you know, pretty cruel. But nothing like that I would say is, you know, damning and like unwatchable. But yeah, it's a neat little film. To call it like Home Alone, like a copy, is being very disingenuous because the trap part and all of that is very muted and not that big of a part of this film. You know, I mean, the kid's running around with a Rambo outfit on with, like, blow darts. So, like, you know, so it's not like a trap, you know, action set pieces. So, but yeah, no, it's a fun enough film. I would say if you haven't seen it, check it out. Yeah, 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I would give it like a 7 out of 10. I thought it was pretty entertaining. I think it, for a lot of it, is kind of like a fluffy film. It's kind of, just kind of does things and you go with it. Because again, it's very Fever Dream-esque. It really has a storyline that progresses, and it really kind of makes it so that the audience cannot question what's going on. Because if you question it too much, you're kind of missing out on the sort of like magic of it just doing its thing. When you don't really try to analyze it too hard, I think it's really entertaining in the way that it comes off with the technology, archaic though maybe now, or maybe not even recognizable for American audiences. I think it's got an interesting setup for it. You know, it tries to offer up a different take on the Killer Santa format without going like expressly horror. I think that it does that pretty well. Remains entertaining throughout with its, you know, very fast-paced 90 minutes. I think it has some nice set designs as well, even though, like we said, the exteriors are obviously models, and there's a fake snow element to them. I think part of it, too, there's a charm in that fake snow and the way that it has this very 80s feel to the Christmas element to it, which is kind of like apparent when you see the storefront outside when there's like the acrobats. Like, first of all, who has a circus on Christmas Eve? I don't. There's no real correlation. Maybe that's a French thing, but I think that it's, you know, it has like a very 80s feel to it. So the aesthetic itself is going to lend itself to people who really appreciate that type of film, especially for Christmas time. And I think it's, you know, for a type of Christmas movie, this is a really unique one that probably a lot of people have not seen. So it's good introduction to this kind of thing. And I think that, you know, it's definitely worth watching, especially if you've not seen it before. You know, it's kind of a interesting twist on the on the Christmas horror movie. So 7 out of 10 for me. I enjoyed it enough. All right, so that's our episode on Deadly Games or Dial Code Santa Claus. We think we still got 2 episodes of Festivus Series to go. So we'll continue working on those as the Christmas season continues. We'll be releasing the last episode since Christmas happens on a Thursday this year. We'll release that last episode prior to Christmas, probably on Christmas Eve or something like that. So I'll try to get that done early for you. I don't even know what we're going to do next. We have some ideas, but
we don't have a plan this year.
Yeah, we didn't really do like a specific outline of what we're going to do. Now, I probably don't want to continue with the same, I think this year we've tried to go a little different directions with each of the movies. So we'll probably, again, try to remain with that and, do something a little bit different than, the Hallmark romance that we've done or the Christmas action horror movie that we did.
Listen, us doing that movie is why the Bills won on Sunday.
That's right.
That game was going ass over. It was going ass over tea kettle until Christian Benford and then pick 6. I wasn't watching it. I had to listen to it on the radio because I don't have cable. But
it was exciting, and somebody threw our podcast on the headphones for Josh Allen. Woke him up a little bit. Wow, that Blood and Black Rum podcast, so insightful. On that
Kaylee Seinfeld's like, I'm going to leave you for that Chris Martin if you don't.
That's right.
Get your shit together.
Yeah. So I don't know what's to come, but I'm sure we'll figure it out before next week.
Hebrew Hammer.
There you go. Well, thanks for listening to our episode on Deadly Games. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you stick with us for the Festivus season. We'll be back again next week. If you liked what you heard, subscribe to us on any podcast app that you use. I'm sure we're on it. Leave us a nice review. That always helps us out. We have Facebook and Blue Sky. You can find us on there. Just search Blood and Black Rum Podcast. We have an email address at bloodandblackrumpodcast@gmail.com where you can write to us. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what movies you want us to watch. We'll take
I have
that
a
into
question.
Consideration. Yeah.
I do have a question.
Sure.
When you go on to Blue Sky, does it play the song?
It does not.
The Almond. You know what song I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
It does.
You think that'd be nice, like
They
a way
should-
to
they should.
get people over there? You just do.
They should. They should get the rights to that.
I'm sure it's expensive. So just do what this film did and do what WCW did. Just knock it off.
That's right. A little bit of a different rendition.
Yeah.
And you can donate to us on our Patreon page. Anything you donate goes back towards beer.
We will also be streaming on Saturday. We're going to be live reviewing John Cena's last match.
Yes.
Against Gunther on Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, that'd be fun. John Cena just showed up in an episode of Pluribus as well. That the new show that the guy from Better Call Saul did. Why am I
Vince Gill.
blank? Vince Gillian. Yeah. So John Cena's in there. Surprise cameo. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's already revealing it alone is a spoiler, but he's in it. Just so you know.
We need John Cena in Fargo.
Yeah. People have been saying, he's showing up everywhere now, so.
Oh, well.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening to our episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're having a good Festivus season. And until next time.
Take care.